How's it going, everybody? In today's Marvel vs. Mayhem video, we're going to be redoing our tier list now that we've experienced basically all the characters in their final form at level 70 with all the talents equipped. We've tested a lot. We made great use out of this time reversal event, but it is ending. This video is coming out later, so it's ending at the end of today. So make sure that you're not stuck holding on to characters. You were doing some testing on yourself and rewind them while you can. I, for instance, was just testing Dream Queen. She was level 70. You can see she's got some powerful artifacts and highlights on her, but I went ahead and I rewound her, and if I wanted to, I could also rewind highlights, but we gotta do that in a separate step. So if you've got any highlights you've been doing testing on, rewind that as well. So the purpose of this tier list is going to be to try and help inform people on what I think are the best characters. Chat's going to be giving me their experiences as well, and that will influence the tier list for sure, because, I mean, information by community is always better than just one person spouting nonsense out at you. Before we jump into that, though, I do want to talk about one thing you can make use of from Time Reversal before it ends today, and that is going to be getting duplicate highlights. For instance, we do get those pristine projector films that can be used to upgrade highlights. I don't have anyone right now, but I did before, and I use it on Ancient Frontier. But my Ancient Frontier is level 0. Well, when you rewind a highlight that you use a pristine film on, instead of getting that pristine film back, you actually just get a second copy of that highlight. That is exactly what we can see here. I use a projector film on the Scarlet Witch as well. If I go to rewind it, it's going to give me a copy back instead of a pristine projector film or whatever the heck those things are called. So you can make use out of this if you want some general use highlights. Obviously, this isn't the best thing to do on a very specific one like a Scarlet Witch or an Iron Man, but on those frontiers or the worthy opponents, if you want extra, 3-star highlights for maybe your Echo or whoever the case may be, you can go ahead and make use of that little gimmick, as that will go away when Time Reversal ends. And who knows what it's going to cost to actually reverse things after the fact. But let's go ahead and get to our tier list while the getting is good. And we got a lot to talk about. So we learned a lot. Captain America and the Fantastic Four team has come out since our last tier list, and they definitely made big waves. I don't think chat is going to push back on this one. Captain America S tier, maybe not the top of S tier, but he's definitely up there. Look, energy generation, the crazy shields he can do, the damage increases, the taunting, the forced enemy taunt, stuff like that. It's a very, very unique character. What I will say is this character is stronger in PvE than he is in PvP. In PvP, when homie just throws down his buff circle in a random location, I can't help but just facepalm myself into a bloody nose, honestly. But yeah, great goated in PvE for sure. We'll leave Doctor Strange. We'll leave Reed Richards until the end. Sentry, okay, another tank. All right, I loved Sentry. I have nearly a full Saga Sentry. I'll say that my use of Sentry has fallen off dramatically since I hit level 61, and I have a character like Juggernaut now, who does a passive taunt on his 3-cost abilities. So both characters have a taunt. Sentry does a little bit more damage. He's got more mobility to him. He is not nearly as tanky, though, when built correctly with the right sort of artifacts. I kind of feel Sentry is like a high B, low A, personally. I'm going to be holding S and A to some pretty high standards. But I could be comfortable putting Sentry in a low A just because of accessibility. And one thing, actually, you know what? Sentry should be an A. The reason for that is both of his abilities in PvP will do damage. So he's not going to, there's nothing worse in Bifrost Brawl when the opening ability one of your characters use is some sort of stupid buff or some sort of stupid heal or some sort of stupid shield, and it's like every match is glass cannon. So Sentry at least will be doing damage or taunt with both of his abilities. That's going to add a lot of respect on his name for sure there. All right, Juggernaut. Ooh. Juggernaut at level 61 really started to impress me. That taunt that he gets from that passive is next level. His damage eclipses Sentry once you get enough health stacked on him. Juggernaut's that guy. Unfortunately, not in the game of Khonshu. The game of Khonshu, he's still kind of, game of Khonshu, a lot of characters like that, though. All right, the thing, I just did a video testing thing. I used him with Human Torch and with Sue Storm. He absorbed all the damage like crazy when he got the buffs from Sue Storm. Man, his ultimate on a single target hit one enemy for 70,000 damage, and that's an AoE ability. I actually think there's going to be a lot of play for Thing, but I think it's going to be based on his team. I don't think he's going to be great alone. His cooldowns are cool, right? He's got the damage reduction, he's got the knockback, he can do a stun, but without his team, he loses way too much stats, and I'm not sure how much I'm willing to pull Invisible Woman off of whatever team to join with Thing. So just because of his reliance on his team, I'll put him in B, but keep an eye on this character because, yeah, I think that Fantastic Four team is going to be a top 3 team as a unit. So maybe as a plug and play, we'll put him at B, but he could very well move up to A, bottom of S, how that goes. Mr. Negative. Has anyone played with this guy yet? I still haven't played with this guy. That's just kidding. I played with him a little bit. I didn't get it. I didn't love it. I'm going to put him in D tier. There should probably be an F tier to this, but we'll be nice. We don't want to fail anybody. He got like a 51%, okay? Falcon. I've seen some people use Falcon on the leaderboards. I get it. The damage buff is really cool. I think there is a place for him. However, I think there's other characters who do it better. They're just more inaccessible. They're more inaccessible than Falcon is, I would say. Once you get a character like an Invisible Woman, like a Doctor Strange, I think Falcon goes to the wayside. It's a little bit trickier to make use of him. He's a physical damage boost as opposed to like a overall damage boost. Yeah, Predix, that's kind of where I'm at too. I'm kind of okay with him being in C because of the physical, the physical gate he can only do. Man Thing, I really wanted to make that summoner teamwork, guys. I really, really did. Man Thing he tries to do too much. He tries to tank by having thorns. He tries to heal, but it's a really small, and it doesn't heal too much unless you put a really particular highlight on him. His summons do very, very little damage. I'm not feeling Man Thing. I'm not feeling the summoner team. But yeah, Man Thing he's probably the worst summoner in my opinion, which is crazy. Angela, guys, did I have Angela in A tier when we first started? How things have changed. She gets outclassed by every single tank. I love her kit. I love that she can dash and it pulls people in. It's very interesting. I like that she gave herself defense up. I think she does defense down on her ultimate. But it's so uninspiring compared to other characters that I gotta put her in D tier. Does anyone in chat disagree with me on this one? You think Angela's C tier? Out of all the other tanks, even Hulk took a huge step up in PvP. Angela I think she's the worst tank in the game right now. As far as survivability goes, as far as PvP use goes, yeah, I think there's a reason they gave her away for $1. How do we feel, Chad? Prodex is saying C. I'm thinking low. Maybe high to mid D. Who's going to be the tiebreaker? C or D? Prodex is going to... Okay, so we'll go D. We'll go high D then. C minus. Okay. Say D. All right, we're going to go D. Human Torch. Oh my god. Human Torch, I think, is going to be a lot like Thing. I just used him, Thing, and Invisible Woman together on the Man Thing challenge boss. Note 18 or whatever it is. Human Torch outdamaged my Iron Man and my Thor in a similar comp. I know Invisible Woman was buffing him a lot more. But 2-1. He did the amount of damage both Iron Man and Thor did. And we ended up beating the boss with 20 seconds deduction. I think Human Torch is sleeper OP. I'm thinking A. At first, I was actually sleeping on him thinking that he was a poor man's Storm. I think Storm's just not it. I think Human Torch is up there, and I would actually give him the edge over Sentry. With his team and in PvP, I think he's only going to do even better. So that's very, very interesting. Yeah, pairing him with F4 is important there. He does need Susan. That's true. That extra ult damage and the extra just overall damage from Sue's ultimate is big. Lady Bullseye. Okay, I haven't tested Lady Bullseye at the maximum build, but I know a lot of people are using her in PvP. If you can get her some protection, regardless of what ability she does or if she doesn't do any ability, she can just start popping off with a bunch of follow-up attacks because there's just a percentage chance. And if you turn a 3v3 into a 2v3 in this game, once again, because it's so glass cannon right now, that's huge. So I think for PvP use, we have to look at her. PvE use, I'm not too high on her. We're thinking low B. I think like B, yeah, B low A. I'd be pretty comfortable with. I don't think I would put her over Thing based on the personal testing I've done. But let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments your experience with Lady Bullseye. I'm hearing there's a PvP team around her, but haven't played with it myself. And the times I did play with her, she was kind of even with Echo and Psylocke, though it seems like she's not actually on the follow-up team. She's off doing her own thing. Yeah. Okay, Thread. Thread is the biggest damage dealer on the summoner team. I like the versatility he has, how he could summon a unit to go tank, or he could summon a ranged unit. I like that he can do a taunt, like a forced taunt on an enemy with his ability, and he does some pretty decent damage, and he buffs summons. The problem is, I don't think there's a summon team worth it. So it's really just for himself, and the build-up time it takes for a Thread to pop off is too high. I'm going to put him in D tier. I think all the summoners are probably going to end up in D tier for now, just based on the type of games modes we have right now. The type of game modes we have right now, like Nightfall, for instance, they're 17-minute fights. There's no world where a summoner team is going to be competitive in any sort of ranking situation, even over other, completely free-to-play accessible characters. So unfortunately, Thread, although I had a lot of fun with him, he's got to go down there. Oh, Dream Queen. All right. There's been a lot of buzz about Dream Queen. I did just test her for about an hour, and I see the vision. I just think she gets outclassed by a lot of the 3-star characters, which, I mean, that's probably by intention, right? Her buffing your skill damage, if you can then get lucky enough that the RNG cycles you through the right skills so you can keep using your skill damage, feels really powerful, but very RNG dependent at the same time. Whereas somebody like Invisible Woman, it's very clear how to do the setup. Same with Strange, same with Emma. So I think she's in that conversation. She might out edge them if you get like god tier RNG, and she's more accessible, available for Soul Saga upgrades in your Alliance store. She's good. I can't disrespect her with C or D. My heart says high B, but I think I'll get flamed if I don't put her low A. Just for the accessibility she has and how she can compete with the other guys. I'll put her in low A. She's going to be the lowest of A, but she is really good. Doppelganger. Okay, Doppelganger is such an interesting character because he could pop off with so many abilities. If there was a true single target only fight, I think that we could actually make a really strong case for a Doppelganger, Invisible Woman, Dream Queen team, if, and only if, we were able to tank all the hits until the point where he starts to pop off. He's great in Game of Khonshu, but when we have a character like Thor in the game, or we have these other options, I just don't see Doppelganger making the cut. So I'm going to go ahead and throw him on the C tier for now, unfortunately. All right, we got invaded by the kids, but hey, that's just how it goes. Nobody argued with the Doppelganger going into the C tier. A lot of people agreed that he felt really, really powerful in the early moments of the game, but as we started unlocking other characters and getting Soul Saga upgrades and just hitting the later talent trees, honestly, Doppelganger seems to fall off. Next is going to be Echo. I've seen Echo do a lot of crazy things. I see Echo start appearing almost every single time we reach a punching down status because she can mimic her allies' attack, and because she can do follow-ups, and also her abilities cost very little. Once we're doing these insane punch downs, Echo starts becoming used in order to min-max time. I get it. I'm thinking that the game isn't always going to be this sort of stagnant, no content is challenging. At least that's what I'm hoping. And I'm also seeing a lot of these other characters kind of outperform her in interesting ways, as far as like solo carrying a match, and instead of having Echo in there, you have maybe Invisible Woman and Doctor Strange, and you're double boosting an Iron Man, and he's just ripping apart the Eye of Nightmare on his own. So I think that Echo's good, but not S tier. I'll put her at like the bottom of A, maybe on the other side of Dream Queen, just because I've seen more Echo players than I've seen Dream Queen players. Moon Knight, oh boy. Bro, man, I can't believe I made a video talking about Moon Knight, Psylocke, and Hulk. That was one of my starter teams. Didn't pan out. I know a lot of people are trying to make Moon Knight work with like Black Knight. Moon Knight works really good with Thor. But honestly, the boost that Moon Knight gives to Thor is eclipsed by the boost Invisible Woman gives to Thor. Strange gives to Thor. Emma gives to Thor. Probably, maybe not Dream Queen, since his abilities don't do much. I can't put Moon Knight with the likes of Man Thing. But yeah, I'd put him C tier. I can't put him this low, but I can't put him up here either. He's definitely fallen off. All right, Psylocke. Actually, you know what? High C? Yeah, and you know what? I would give him over Falcon for sure. That's fair. That's fair, Cross. All right, Psylocke. Psylocke is another one of those sort of Echo-style characters, and I see her all the time in PvP. With PvP being, again, this just like insane glass cannon meta, I think that her first assist is free. And then if she does another dash, then she'll hit you with another assist. I think that poor man's Thor PvP. Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's a fair statement. But I think that she's going to be scaling quite well. I'm good with B, but I think it has to go to the top B. I think she's got to outclass Thing just because of her PvP plug-and-play use that I'm seeing. I'm really excited to see what Alliance War is going to contain and how many teams are actually going to have to use, if any. Misty Knight. Oh. If you set Misty Knight up, she can pump damage, but I think there's just so many better damage dealers. There's Human Torch is a better damage dealer. He's AoE. He's special where she's physical, I guess. Iron Man is obviously the super mega evolved form of Misty Knight. What are their physical AoE damage characters we have? Not much. So we put a little bit of respect on her name. I mean, Misty B, not many physical? I don't know. Yeah, D or low C. I think that if I didn't have any sort of physical AoE damagers, I would be using Misty Knight. And it wouldn't be the end of the world, but it would be very suboptimal. I'd be very excited. I would be thirsty to pull Iron Man if I was being forced to use Misty Knight. If you don't have Iron Man who you're using, you're probably just not using physical damage characters. But right now, the game doesn't require physical damage characters, which is why I'm here. Which is why I'm playing down here. I'll put her at the top of D, just because she does fit that physical damage AoE. But honestly, yeah. Okay, fair enough. Hulk. Okay, my boy Hulk got some love in PvP. So what we're finding with Hulk now is because he leaps behind the enemy, he really puts people in a bad position as far as PvP goes. So you're not getting as wrecked by AoE. And again, in that glass cannon meta, if a Thor uses his buff ability, that could rip your backline apart even if your front line gets there quickly. But with Hulk will leap over the Thor, and then the Thor turns around. And then that chain lightning is not hitting you. So Hulk has been getting a lot of love lately. He's also very tanky. He is one of those characters that scales off of health. In PvE, trash, right? He's not doing anything for us in PvE, but in PvP, he's getting some love, which is interesting. Until PvP has higher stakes and is not super AI controlled, I don't put crazy value on it, but I think I would have to put him in the same realm as Thing at the very least. I haven't lost to a Hulk put on Bifrost Brawl on defense yet. Thor still just kind of rips through it. All right, I'm happy with B. People seem happy with B. I'm happy with B. I'll put him on the opposite side of Thing because my Thing did rip apart the Hulk. Yeah. My Thing punched that Hulk so hard in his face, he evaporated. He didn't even go backwards. He just evaporated. So, yeah. Well, I'm happy with that. Armor. Okay, Armor is kind of cracked. I think people sleep on Armor. When she taunts, it's great. She's got that AoE stun. I think she's amazing. In PvE, if you're trying to do a punch-up, she is the sturdiest tank without needing any sort of healer, especially until you start hitting level 60s, right? And you start getting the other passives. I think she's got to go A tier. Yeah, she's the tankiest of the tanks. Her shields are crazy. I can't imagine putting her with Invisible Woman. It would just be overkill. I'm going to put her... I think because the way content is right now, and we don't need a super tank. You might need a super tank right now. And so Armor's doing a damn good job for you. But once you hit level 70 and you get your highlights level 70 and stuff like that, I feel her use is gonna fall off a cliff. So I'll put her at low A. If you don't have any, like if I had a Captain America or Juggernaut, even though Juggernaut does not have a taunt to level 60, say I'm level 45, okay? And I have Juggernaut unlocked, I have Armor unlocked. Sure, Armor may be performing better for me, but with time reversal ending, I would probably rewind my Armor and just put everything in a Juggernaut and just suffer it out until then. Sentry outperforms Armor. I think the stun from Armor will help you punch up more. If you need to take a whooping, Sentry couldn't get whooped, right? Armor can get that quick stun out and protect herself. So I think that like, when you're punching up into content, she's a little bit better as far as just surviving so your other characters can do their thing. But as soon as you're on even footing, which, I mean, as soon as you're on even footing in this game, most content becomes a joke, right? And then she'll fall off just as far as, you know, clearing things quickly enough for leaderboards and stuff like that. So Armor over Thing. Well, that's an interesting thing you just brought up, Cam. Oh, that's an interesting thing you just brought up because Thing was super tanky, but Thing also had Invisible Woman with him. Armor will do that without Invisible Woman. No, I think I'm comfy leaving Armor there. Emma, okay, last time I put Emma in A tier and people got really mad about that. That was before I had a Soul Saga for her. Once I got the Soul Saga, and by the way, when I'm doing this rankings, I'm not thinking like max out Soul Saga. I'm thinking on the legendary characters, maybe one level into Soul Saga. And we got to put some respect on Emma because she does have that AoE heal when she gets there. She's only boosting special damage characters, which is fine because the majority of our characters are special damage. We just talked about Misty and Iron Man, right? Iron Man being the only real physical character as AoE. And then we have Thor, Scarlet Witch, Human Torch, Storm. And so Emma definitely has a place among all of that. And as soon as you get the first Soul Saga, her healing becomes very noticeable. Also her use in PvP. Let's talk about that for a second. If she mind controls you out the gate, she turns it into a 4v2 and you get... I was going to say a bad word. You get owned, okay? Because it is so glass cannon. If she mind controls, say you have a Hulk, and she mind controls your Hulk immediately, and he just jumps on your allies, and now you're grouped together, and now you're at a position, she just ruined your whole damn team. Yeah. MS, PvP use, on point. AI use, pretty safe use for AI too. We got to think about how these characters be playing with the AI. That's also something we got to take into account. Thor, I think Thor is 90% of players' top damage dealer when it comes to Bifrost Brawl. I think his use on the Dragon Armor was amazing. He does rely a lot on his Soul Sagas. Once you get his Soul Sagas up, he becomes like this Gatling gun. His ultimate starts happening way more often, starts doing way more damage. Yeah, for a while there, I thought Thor was the best damage dealer in the game. And I think when you're on even footing with content, that's still true. If Iron Man's not one-shotting things the way he currently is for a lot of people in the end game, Thor is the best damage dealer. But now, until things change, he's the third best damage dealer. The third best damage dealer. I think that is fair to say. Sleepwalker's trash. Do we need to really talk about this? I had to use this guy in the Fantastic Four campaign, and I fell asleep with this guy's kit. This kit was horrible. I understand that this is a kit that you might need until you pull an Emma, a Sue Storm, or a Doctor Strange. I get it. This guy's garbage. Okay? I hate this guy. He's so boring. Take your ghetto Martian Manhunter and take your ass back to DC. Get out of here. All right. Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch is definitely the best single target character in the game. Iron Man, honestly, makes her work for that title for sure, because the enemies in our game can actually be one shot by an empowered Iron Man 4-cost ability quite readily, especially with all the different scaling things we have on. Scarlet Witch will return to being the best single target unit in the game once we get some higher scaled content. I really like her kit. It's very straightforward. It's very powerful. In PvP, unfortunately, she can accidentally use her buff attack, and then you are a sitting duck, and it is pretty bad. But if she doesn't do that, she can one-shot a ranged unit very easily, If she reaches her ultimate, it's curtains for the enemy. So having some energy generation on her is good. If Thor is going to be the third best, she's definitely at least the second best. Would I value her over Emma? If I could have... Yes, I would. Because we have lots of different ways we can buff her now. We have Captain America who can buff her. Dream Queen works really well with Scarlet Witch. Having her just pop off that 3-cost ability twice in a row is amazing. We were trying to actually play around with that on the Eye of Nightmare. That was pretty successful. Obviously, Invisible Woman can boost Scarlet Witch, probably the best in the game. So there's a lot of different options to boost Scarlet Witch. And I'm going to actually put her over Juggernaut as well. I think I'll leave Captain America at the tippy top for now. And while we're here, I'm actually going to move Juggernaut all the way down to the bottom of S tier. I think that that is fair enough. Black Knight. Okay. I tried to make a Black Knight speed team work using Moon Knight and Thor, and it just became the Thor show. I think that Black Knight really wants a tank with him, but then he doesn't do enough damage on his own. And they kind of need each other. They're kind of a two-piece together. And who's that third character going to be? Are you going to really bring a healer in there? I try and think from this situation. If Alliance War comes, and I need to make 5 teams of 3 characters, am I putting Black Knight at any of those teams? I'm doing a Fantastic Four team. I'm doing a Iron Man, Thor, Captain America team. I'm doing an Emma Strange Wanda team. I'm probably going to be doing the follow-up team. I don't think Black Knight's getting there. I think Black Knight's getting there. Now, I think that he is better than Thread. I would actually put him on even footing with Misty, but maybe a bit better because he does do the revive and he could somewhat tank for you. I'll put him at the bottom of C tier. I did not love my Black Knight experience. Do we have any strong feelings about that? Captain Cross over here, he's one of my whale friends, and he's gotten so many legendary characters not named Iron Man. He does not have Iron Man unlocked, and Iron Man is actually, in my opinion, the best character in the game still. I got roasted for this take last time, and now that people have Iron Man unlocked, Soul Saga is highlight, we have some epic artifacts. Iron Man is one-shotting everything. Iron Man is out single target damaging Scarlet Witch because of just how his kit works. He's got two abilities that do damage, and if you get him Soul Saga enough, which we're not really focusing on that, both of his abilities cost 3, and it's just, dude, the way this guy scales is bonkers. Right now, I think he's on 90 or at least 80% of everybody's highest Nightfall score. Yeah, he's that guy, and he should be that guy. He's freaking Iron Man, dude. Spider-Man. We did some testing with Spider-Man. I actually did enjoy the follow-up team. It was a lot of fun to play with. It's not a team that I've left the investment in. It's definitely not a team I'm going to be carrying through the time reversal. On the team, he's incredibly important. So if you want to do the follow-up team, then I think he'd be A tier. If you're like, oh, you know what? I want to do the follow-up team. Pretty good. He'd be up there. I've seen some use for him from people in PvP trying to get use out of him. Not had it work for them. There is a psychopath on the leaderboards who's like rank 3, or he was for a while, that had Spider-Man, but he had him like fully Soul Saga'd out and was crazy. So apparently he scales really well, which is good to know. But I can't personally get him over the hump. I'm going to put him B tier. I'm putting him at the tippy top of B tier. I think people sleep on him a little bit, and he's going to scale, but he needs to prove it before he gets there, right? Invisible Woman. Oh my God. Invisible Woman, when she has one Soul Saga and she is replenishing that shield over and over and over again when she does her ultimate, and when you can get some energy generation on her, so she is using that ultimate over and over, giving you the damage boost, and then she's using her 3-cost ability, making your ults just absolutely truck units. She single-handedly replaced both Emma and Strange. She replaced Emma and Strange. She was like, you guys need to hold hands as support? Check this shit out. And she made Iron Man the best damage dealer in the game over Scarlet Witch, over Thor. And it's not close. It's an easy S, but it's not just S. I would actually say she belongs right here. Even as a support character, she's like the second best character in the game. She can revolutionized lots of characters. Like I was saying, her Human Torch and Thing, we're getting in there and mixing it up with some crazy enemy teams in the Bifrost Brawl. Crazy enemy teams. She can work with Witch. She can work with Thor. She can probably work with the follow-up team, no problem. Imagine the terror you would feel if there was an Echo, a Spider-Man, and an Invisible Woman, and they all went invisible, and they just started building up that energy and just started walking all over you. She's good. She's really good. Moon Girl's trash. We're just going to put her at the bottom. No, she's not that bad. Okay. Moon Girl is not that bad. She does boost the summon team, which you can see I'm not super hyped up on. The Dino does not tank very well. You can only upgrade her with the Alliance credits, and it takes a lot of them to get that Soul Saga up. They gave her away for free for a reason, I will say. I actually wouldn't even consider in the same realm as a 3-star character. She's not D. She can be used kind of alone. If you put like Strange with her, I mean the dinosaur can kind of tank. I'll put her at the bottom of C just to not be too disrespectful. But she's not good. I wouldn't invest in her. She's definitely not getting any investments post time reversal for me until maybe somebody fully Soul Sagas her up and we see she's absolutely amazing. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Her and Thread go bottom of C. I can see, honestly, I can see Thread kind of, Thread out. Thread's more fun than her. Okay, listen, if I'm doing this, she's going down. Thread can summon the melee units when he wants. He can summon the range units when he wants, and he can focus those summons. Maybe Thread, Moon Girl, and a healer can kind of be a team. It wouldn't be Man-Thing. We need like an additional healer. I don't know. I'm going to put Moon Girl at the top of D. There's a reason they gave her away for free. There's also a reason they gave Storm away for free as well. I've not played enough with Storm, but from the moments I have, I brought her up to like level 61 and I tested her out, right? Thor does her job so much better than she does, and Thor tanks, so you could bring in different characters. Storm's 2-cost ability is so cool because it hits so many characters, but, and it's awkward to say because we've been talking about how things just aren't scaled high enough, her 2-cost ability doesn't really take out even the weakest enemies yet. I'm uncertain about Storm. She's fantastic AoE. Yeah, I agree with you that she's good on AoE. She's really usable on that gold. I think Human Torch outvalues her. Yeah, I think Human Torch is doing a better job than her. I think that in PvP, lots of people I see are trying to get Storm to work. She does her 2-cost ability. I started attacking slower, and I still win anyway. Because Thor just says, well, you're going to make me attack slower, but hey, I got these certain artifacts. I'm popping off, and I'm killing your entire team. And you've done no damage to me. Because your 2-cost ability didn't even break Sue's barrier. It didn't even do 50% of Sue's barrier. So I'm not high on the Storm train. I don't think she's the worst. If you don't have Thor, Iron Man, or Scarlet Witch, she's okay. But I kind of would still be going with Human Torch instead. And we just got him for free. Yeah. And we're getting a free highlight on him, so I would definitely go that route. Doctor Strange, okay. Ooh, Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is so reliant on his 3rd Soul Saga. Doctor Strange's 3rd Soul Saga, if you don't know, makes it so his Vishanti buff costs 0. Otherwise, that whole process costs 3, and you got to set it up. The power is, of course, that you can set it up so that Doctor Strange has both his offensive buff and his defense down debuff ready to go. His 1st Soul Saga does make his chains also put defense down, so he can really set up a character to get one-shot. That's what people were doing against the Armored Dragon boss. That's how Iron Man was one-shotting him. So I can't disrespect Strange too much. Strange's heal is my favorite heal in the game, and it's not close. It is such a big heal. But if we're only looking at Soul Saga 1, I think he gets outpaced by Emma in a lot of situations, and Sue in almost all situations. Yeah. I can't disrespect him by putting him into A. I definitely value him over Juggernaut. I mean, he can make other characters perform better than Thor. Like, Doctor Strange can definitely make a Human Torch or a Storm perform better than Thor, just because of the range of the attacks those two have. And you know, Thor, he's got the dash, but he's still a stationary unit. Sometimes he gets stuck on obstacles. Him and Emma, this is where he stops. He either goes here or he goes here. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna give the edge to Strange still, because he can boost physical characters, right? I still think Strange's ultimate heal, it happens so fast, is better than Emma's heal, which costs you 3 mana. The fact that we can both debuff and buff using his Book of Ashanti feels really good. That was very clutch against the Dragon Armor boss. Yeah, I'm comfortable putting him still in S tier, still above Emma, but that's like a really close conversation. And then there's Mr. Fantastic. I haven't tested Mr. Fantastic. Obviously, he's not unlocked, as you can see. Mr. Fantastic does have a super interesting kit. It looks like, from the testing I did with Thing, Human Torch, and Sue, he's going to play really well there. Because what he's going to do is he's going to pull an enemy on top of Thing. Thing can do the taunt. Thing's ult will then hit a bunch of people. Reed will be physical. He has a little bit of AoE. He's going to kind of be like the Thor, but for physical. He's at least A, but without being able to test him, I don't want to put him too high. Actually, that's not true. I'm very comfortable putting him up here, just after looking at the kit. But that could change. Like we'll see how his stats scale and everything like that. Human Torch really surprised me. I'm very, very hopeful that for PvP, we're going to be able to use a Mr. Fantastic Thing Human Torch team. I'm very hopeful for that. I think it's going to be pretty cool. And I guess that's it for the tier list for now. We'll see what new characters are coming out in the near future. There's a lot more characters in S than I thought they would be. And all of them are 3-star characters. The whale tier. Yeah, S is the whale tier. It is what it is. I like that we do have a lot of good characters in the A tier. And we do have some of the 3-star characters even lower. Spider-Man being low. Moon Girl being low. All right. I think this is fair. Let me know what you guys think. I'm sure people are going to get real upset in the comment section. Just my opinion, guys. But hey, don't forget, Time Reversal is going to be ending on Friday. Today, when this video is being posted, is the last day you can make changes. So make sure you take the characters that you value the most. And if you value my opinion, these are the characters I think are the best. All right, guys. So we have yourself a wonderful day. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye for now.
That's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Stay happy, healthy, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.